Good evening and welcome back to the Poets Corner. I am your host, Micah Joel Toohey, and I am broadcasting from Western Illinois University, WIU, in Macomb, Illinois. If you'd have any poems you'd like me to read on air, or if there's any matters that you would like to ask a question about or discuss, please contact us at poetscornerjm@yahoo.com. That's poetscornerjm@yahoo.com. On the Poets Corner, we talk about all things, both in, with, and through poetry, and no subject is taboo, except my personal life. Speaking of my personal life, I wanted to dedicate this segment to a friend of mine. His name is Jeremy Gosens, but my friends often affectionately call him Remy. Remy is a very beautiful, gentle, pious young man, mostly quiet, but with a lot to say, very intelligent, but slow to speak. And lately, he's been a little down. He's been a little down because, well, employment is not so easy to get in this economy. Being a honors graduated English student, well, that and about $1.50 will get you a cup of coffee. It's not always easy for the sensitive souls to make their way in a world which tends to be rather rough and violent, particularly when any kind of money is involved. Jeremy has a particular hero he likes, and that is Father Campion. And Father Campion was a Jesuit martyr in England during the time of the Tudors. And I'm reading this poem by the Jesuit Henry Walpole, which is called The Martyrdom of Father Campion. England, look up. Thy soil is stained with blood. Thou hast made martyrs many of thine own. If thou hadst grace, their deaths would do thee good. The seed will take, which in such blood is sown. And Campion's learning, fertile so before, thus watered too, must needs of force be more. All Europe wonders at so rare a man. England is filled with rumor of his end. London must needs, for it was present then, when constantly 3 saints their lives did spend. The streets, the stones, the steps that hail them by, proclaim the cause for which these martyrs die. The tower says the truth he did defend. The bar bears witness of his guiltless mind. Tyburn doth tell he made a patient end. In every gate his martyrdom we find. In vain you wrought that would obscure his name, for heaven and earth will still record the same. His quartered limbs shall join with joy again, and rise a body brighter than the sun. Your bloody malice tortured him in vain, for every rent some glory hath him won, and every drop of blood which he did spend hath reaped a joy which never shall have end. Henry Walpole. Martyred, 1595. We look at that poem, such a beautiful poem, and we see in the lives of the great poets who've gone before us a kind of courage that I don't know if I'd ever be able to build that kind of courage up in my own life. But I know that that kind of courage among poets is still present today. And I know it not from looking in myself, but I look in the quiet eyes of my friend Remy. He may not have much to say, but he faces each day with a quiet and unsullied hope that grace is still sufficient, now as it was then for Father Campion. On the same mood, I have another poem I'd like to share for Remy tonight, and it's by Michelangelo Buonarroti, and it's translated by, of course, one of the show's favorite poems, William Wordsworth. This is the English version by Wordsworth, translated from the Italian. For inspiration. The prayers I make will then be sweet indeed, if thou the Spirit give by which I pray. My unassisted heart is barren clay, which of its native self can nothing feed. Of good and pious works thou art the seed, which quickens where thou say'st it may, unless thou show us then thine own true way. No man can find it, Father, thou must lead. Do thou then breathe those thoughts into my mind, by which such virtue may in me be bred, that in thy holy footsteps I may tread. The fetters of my tongue do thou unbind, that I may have the power to sing of thee, and sound thy praises everlastingly. Michelangelo Buonarroti. From the Italian, William Wordsworth. Sometimes I wonder, where will I get the guidance that this poem talks about? Where will I find the grace to live as I must in a world that frankly seeks to push me around and bruise me in more ways than one? Where can I find the peace, the tranquility? Where can I find the calm, the serenity, in order to try to live as a poet in a brigand's world? But in poetry, in spring and nature, there is always beauty to be imitated. There is virtue to be emulated, and gifts to be given. This is the Poets Corner. I am your host, Micah Joel Toohey, and I'll be right back.